I have quite a strange, mashed up life. So by day, I'm an entrepreneur. I set up my own business about 11 years ago. And basically, I run a business development, marketing, communications consultancy, and we work with a wide variety of firms right the way across financial services, all obsessed by technology. So the world of fintech, and that's from early stage businesses right the way through to very large established companies, all of whom are trying to innovate to bring new products to market for clients and for customers. Now, this is born from a 25-year plus, it is plus actually, a career in the city where I had a number of positions. So I was head of e-commerce during the dot-com boom for a PR consultancy. I went in-house to an international brokerage firm where I was responsible for sales development and marketing communications. And I was given a P&L running a business line. And then I was headhunted to become global head of communications for the technology business of the New York Stock Exchange. So I've done everything from working with early startups to global enterprises. And when I came out of the stock exchange, I decided to do something completely random. In truth, I was very tired. I'd basically been working 2 days a week in Paris. I was on a long-haul flight almost every couple of weeks. And so I decided to do something I'd always wanted to do, which is stand-up comedy. So I took a break. And I, without having ever done stand-up before, decided I need to set myself a target. I booked a show at the Edinburgh Fringe, the biggest comedy festival in the world, and basically took a show to Edinburgh. So I wrote it, I had a director, I worked with another actress, we created a show, and we took it to Edinburgh. And when I came back from there, that's when I had a phone call from a previous employer saying, do you want to do some freelance work? And that's when my business was born. So I went through this strange journey of going, well, I know there's something in the comedy, I really want to pursue the comedy, but actually I also am deeply fascinated by the world of financial services and technology, right? That's what I've been doing all these years. So I put the comedy on hold and basically started to build my business. And then I began to realize that actually when you can bring the two together, that's when really exciting things happen. So I now it's such a luxury. I mean, I'm invited to host and perform and to speak at a number of conferences all around the world. And a number of things have come from that. So I talk a lot about talent and diversity and the reason why we need talent and why we need diversity, particularly in a world where we need more digital skills, more cyber skills, algorithmic engineers, where we need people who truly understand how to build enterprise-wide platforms, etc. And I worry that we don't have the skills the city needs today. And I also worry that we don't appeal to the talent that the city needs today, and not to mention tomorrow. But then also other things come from it. So for example, because I do a lot of radio with my comedy, is that actually I started a podcast, and it's called Diverse City Podcast, which is all about diversity and inclusion in financial services, shining a light on really positive stuff, because I think there's quite a negative narrative that often comes through in diversity, and I think it's something that we should be talking more positively about. The second thing is then also to call out areas that do require further focus, because it's by no means perfect. And then the third thing is to offer lots of ideas to organisations and listeners who are trying to drive change. So really practical best practice insights as well. So that's where those kind of worlds kind of blend and they've come together. So yes, it's quite a weird sort of mashed up existence. I've been really blessed actually. So I've had people who have stepped up for me, who have been real sponsors in my career, who have probably seen my potential almost before I did, in truth. Who are also mentors that I've actively sought out, and they're not necessarily people more senior, but they're also mentors around me, other people in the industry that I've built through various network engagements, who I just look at and go, look, I need to talk to you about and gain some support and insight. And I think there's something about having the vulnerability and the honesty to appreciate that actually we don't have all the answers. You know, we go on this kind of journey of perfection and we're never perfect. So having people you can call upon. And also I've been very blessed with, I have a wonderful partner, and she's right there for me and is very supportive. And as I've built out my team, I have an incredible team of people who are all very dedicated to ensuring not only that our clients, of course, get the best possible service, and that's easy to say and not always easy to deliver, and they're very obsessive about that, as much as I am, but also that they then create a structure around me that allows me to be the CEO that I should be, which is out talking at conferences, being engaged with the industry, and to have the combination of all of those has been incredibly helpful. We've just completed Series 3 of Diversity Podcast, and we're planning already Series 4, which is going to come out in 2019. And so I've now had the privilege of interviewing, I think it's about 70 senior executives all over the industry, all thinking about diversity and inclusion. And that's right across the spectrum. You know, that's gender, LGBT, disability, age, faith, race, incredibly important. And then also even going into mental health and thinking about, you know, the various different dynamics. And there are certain themes that come up time and time and time again. One is leadership from the top. So organizations really need to think about what is the message that their senior leaders send. This isn't just about the CEO, this is about the entire board. The second is about the culture that embraces young talent to come in and makes it a place not only that where they hire them in, but they can be attractive and retain the talent, nurture that talent all the way through. And the third thing really is thinking about the middle management layer, because you've got one end and of course you've got the senior management at the other, but helping that middle management layer. Now, it's very easy to talk about being, you know, critical of male, pale and stale. I hear this a lot. And actually my view is much more empathetic. And I think that if you've been in an organization, you've been hired in a certain way, paid in a certain way, you know, trained in a certain way, coached in a certain way, and had your KPIs set and had to meet them in a certain way, it takes courage to do something different. And this is where I think the world of diversity and inclusion and the heads of D&I really need to create a structure around those middle management execs who need to be supported in saying, okay, well, we're going to make a change. So it's about baking it into scorecards, into the appraisal process, but also giving some flex around expectations to say, we'll help you bring in talent that doesn't look like you, doesn't feel like you, doesn't think like you, wasn't educated like you, and actually comes from a very different background from you. And we're going to help you create a very positive environment in order to drive a high-performing team, because this is all about results. This isn't a nice to have. The reason why diversity matters is because if you embrace diversity and inclusion, you will get better outcomes. It is proven time and time and time again. Come to the world of technology, we think about agile technology. Agile technology is about bringing products and services to market faster by putting diverse skills, behaviors, and talents around a central problem. Build something, test it, try and break it, refine it, hone it, improve it. And it's the same thing in business, which is if you've got people around a table with very different views and different experiences, you're going to come out with a better outcome. And this is all about performance.